Welcome to the fourth tutorial on the Excel workshops from beginnerslearn.com. This one will require you to actually download a file from my site. If you go to the link supplied below, you can find this file on the web page called Bill Sales Tracking. So essentially I just made up a fictional company so we can track their sales and make sure their sheets looking nicely so they can use it each month. I extracted it right to my desktop, and you can just double click that to bring up Excel. So right now you can see that it's painfully ugly and not very functional. So we're gonna fix that. The first thing that we should do is expand all the columns so that they fit in all the information that we're going to be working with. For this, we can just place our cursor between like each cell, so like A and B at the top for the columns, and once it goes into this shape, you can double click and that will fit everything in there, and just work your way across here, over here, and I mean you can leave all those prices there the same. Now let's just move all these names down because it's going to be like the sales and dollar items by person. So this is the quantity that they sold up here, and then we're just going to have the sales price, and then below we're just going to have the names and then the totals right next to the name. So for this, to move the names down, we're just going to highlight like by clicking and then dragging down all the names. Then right click, or even do Control C, Control V, it's like the same type of thing, but we're going to do copy, and then it's going to do all this like dancing line around our selection just to show that it's being copied. And then we're going to go down to cell A10, and then we're going to right click and then hit paste, and we're going to just choose the first paste option, which would be, looks like a little sheet of paper with the folded down edge, and that will paste all those names. And then we're going to go down once more just to put the other totals, the names for the totals. So that's starting to look better. To deselect the copied selection, you can just press escape on the keyboard and that just takes it off. For this, you can see that they had the names of the item that they're selling. I kind of wanted to have it down here just so you can see how much money they're making from each one. So for this, we're just going to insert a new row. For selecting rows, you're going to hit the row number that you want. It's going to select the entire row, and you can right click and say insert. So when you do insert, it's going to force this row down and then make a new row on whatever row you click. So if you're going to make a new row on 9, it would push this sales dollars by item down. So you want to have it on 10 so that it pushes the names down and makes room for all the categories. So you do the insert, and that's a new row. And we're going to do the same thing that we just did by copying and pasting. So now you have all that. Press escape to deselect the selection. And now you're ready to work with the numbers. Let's start with basketball. So Ben in basketball, see, we have all the prices over here. You can do just a formula. It's equal sign. Of course, it'll be 10 times 25 because that's the price. And you could do this for, how many do we have? There'd be 12 different times we'd have to do this, but we can do it in 3 different clicks. Well, 3 different cells, and just use the autofill to do everything else. So you notice if you like click up here, it shows where we're getting them from. If you were to drag down on this cell, you'd think that it would just auto fill everything, but it kind of does, but it's also moving down the same, like the L3 over there, like it should be on L2 for the basketball price. And if you look here, it's selecting Claire, the basketball, which we want, but it's going to the soccer ball price. So to fix this, let's just undo that. We can just freeze a cell. You press F4 and it'll freeze that very cell over there. So no matter how many times you would drag this down, it's always going to reference the second number to L2, the basketball price. And since nothing's locked on the B4, it's going to move down as you autofill. So we can even just do that and drag that down. So just to prove it to you, I can double click here and it shows the reference Claire 15 basketball sold to 25. And same with Doug. Now we can just do the same for soccer ball and hockey stick. Let's just reference to the C4 times soccer ball. You can press enter, but you also go back. Make sure you click the cell number up the top in the formula bar, then press F4 on it, and that will put the two dollar signs in front of each letter. You can press F4 more times. You can like freeze just the column and let the row move, or freeze the row and let the column move around. But we're going to want to keep it straight, like absolute referencing. That's what it's called, an absolute reference. And drag that down, and that completes it again. Same with hockey stick. You'd probably get the hang of it by now. And click that and freeze that reference. And they made pretty good money off the hockey sticks. Now we're going to want the totals. So this can be just a sum. You could do equal sum, open bracket, and just copy. Then this one you can autocomplete too, or will autofill. Just drag that down and it's going to reference each of those because it is a sequence and it's not doing any absolute referencing. So this is looking better already. Now we should probably format it so it looks nice. Let's just throw in a total. And this will just be, let's just use the sigma actually for this. Go over to the AutoSum, the Greek E there, the sigma. And let's see. Well, for this one, it's going to go up to here where it's actually going under the column heading that it thinks it should be, but we don't want it to go up there. We can drag down the selection that it thought and just highlight the cells, press enter, and it'll be the total of all the sales for that month.